Moses ascended the mountain, but God told him, "Don't let anybody else come up the mountain, just you." And he went up on his own, and he spoke to God, and God gave him the commandments, and they were carved into stone tablets, and he carried them down to tell to the people.
It's just what I hate about the Bible and that. It's just like loads of little quests and stuff that people have to go on. It's like Zelda or something. Remember The Legend of Zelda? It's basically the Bible.
Tea with the Devil, a podcast by Eric Rushton and Richard Dadd. Episode 2. Hello, Eric.
Oh, yeah.
We meet again.
Fortunately. No, maybe fortunately. I don't know why I've brought negativity into it this early. Negativity is your thing, really, isn't it? Well, no, or it's not. You're such a confusing character. I'd say I'm quite pessimistic. Maybe I'm not talking about pessimism, because you can think of pessimism like, oh, the world's going to end or something. But my pessimism is more like a kind of self-pitying, self-loathing kind of thing, which I think you'd be against. You're a bit more... I don't think you doubt yourself, do you?
Well, of course not. I'm terrific. I'm the king of the underworld.
No.
And I don't think you should doubt yourself either. You're a man of a great many talents. You've got youth, you've got vigour, you've got spunk.
So what do you think of the kind of self-pitying type? Oh, because you can have a kind of pessimism where you're in bed and it's like, why should I get out of bed? What's good about the world? Do you know what I mean? I can't do anything with my life.
And do you feel like that sometimes?
Sometimes, yeah. Me and my flatmate Joe, we've been going the other way recently. We've been trying to spiral upwards in terms of being really motivated. We're trying to wake up at 6:30 every morning and be creative. But then there's also kind of a strictness to that kind of routine as well. And I don't know how I feel about that.
I've got absolutely no time for early mornings.
Yeah. What time do you get up?
I get up when I wake up.
Well, you're a timeless being anyway, aren't you, sir?
Absolutely. I can sleep for as long as I like. And I encourage you to sleep for as long as you need, Eric. Don't be pushed into getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning. If you want to stay in bed till 4 in the afternoon, you do that.
Is there sleep in heaven and hell?
There's so much fun and partying in hell that there's barely any time to sleep.
Why would you sleep there? Why would they make it so souls get tired? You only get tired because, like, I don't know, your physical body needs recharging or whatever. But then in heaven, so in the afterlife, you're probably just awake the whole time, which makes it even more torturous, whether it's heaven or hell. It's a racket. I bet it's a racket.
It is a constant 24-hour party down here.
Yeah.
You'd love it.
I don't know if I'd like that. I don't know if I would. I like that for a little bit. Is it like...
No, you would.
There's a place called Snobs in Birmingham. I think they have like different rooms with different vibes and that. Like there'll be a noughties room playing noughties music and then maybe a bit of R&B in another room. Is it kind of like that?
Hell is a lot like Snobs, yes.
Yeah, all right.
Well, as I've said to you before, we have fantastic music down here in hell, but let's talk some more about your spirals of despair and your housemate.
Well, okay, so we've been trying to follow rules. We've got a whiteboard now.
You've got a whiteboard.
We write to-do lists on it and stuff like that. And we have to like tick all our things off. What do you think of to-do lists? Do you use a to-do list?
What have you got on your to-do list?
Just stuff like this will be on it, like talk to Satan, or and then I can tick this off after, and I can feel a little reward after it.
Eric, you're such an interesting and vibrant man. Why are you allowing yourself to have your day dictated to you by lists like some kind of tedious bore? You should embrace the spontaneity of chaos. You should wake up and think, I don't know what I'm going to do today. Maybe I'll write my name on a bus stop, or spit on a homeless man.
My point was that a bit of discipline, a morning routine or something like that could maybe make me happier, because then at least I have some direction.
Well, I mean, that depends what your morning routine would be. I mean, if your morning routine was to go and place a wireless webcam in the cubicle of a lady's toilets, for example, or put a firework through the letterbox of an old people's home, that would be...
because they harm other people.
Yes, but they'd be a laugh, wouldn't they?
No, I think we have different...
that would be...
I'm normally like, I don't mind a bit of offensive comedy or whatever, but I don't think it would be a laugh. I don't think it'd be that funny.
What, putting a firework through an old people's home's letterbox? What are you talking about? It'd be absolutely hilarious. They'd be too slow to move away. You'd be in hysterics.
Maybe, like if I do laugh, like that's the good thing about laughing. Like you can't really help it.
It would be absolutely hilarious.
Do you know what I mean? Like you're lying to yourself if you say something's not funny when you do find it funny. I'm just thinking I probably wouldn't find that funny. If I turn up, if I start, putting a firework through someone's door and I find myself chuckling to myself, I'll say, fair play, the devil was right. But I just can't see that.
Well, look, just for me, just pop it on your to-do list on your whiteboard and just consider it for later in the week. Just put firework letterbox.
Well, the thing is, then I do that, then I can end up going to prison. Then there's going to be a lot more rules. There's going to be a lot more, of a strict morning routine.
Well, and this is the problem with rules, you see. You're having your freedom inhibited and your behaviour dictated because of what somebody else says is the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do. And all of this ultimately comes from God because he was the first person who set down rules.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of rules. He has 10 rules, doesn't he? 10 commandments.
The 10 commandments, yes. Eric, what do you think about living your life according to the 10 commandments?
Right, I don't really know.
Well, can you remember what the 10 commandments
All of them. I think I'll try it. I'll see, right.
Go on, can you remember?
You definitely can't murder. That's one of the big ones.
So, number one, you're saying don't murder.
Yeah.
That is one.
Do I have to get them in order? Is there a specific order for them?
Well, there was the order in which they were dictated to Moses.
Do you reckon they were in order of importance or just the order he remembered them?
No, I very much doubt that they were in order of importance. But, that is one of them. Thou shalt not murder. It doesn't take into account whether they deserved murdering. But, go on. What's the next one?
I don't think you're allowed to steal. I think that's one. Thou shalt not steal.
Thou shalt not steal. That was the 8th commandment.
And again, makes sense. Pretty common sense.
Well.
You're stealing, you're harming someone else. I've stolen the odd thing in the past.
What have you stolen, Eric?
A lot of whiteboard pens. What else is there? Don't kill, don't steal. That's the obvious ones. Don't covet your neighbour's wife. That's one, isn't it?
Yes, that is one.
That makes sense. It seems a bit sexist because it could say don't covet your neighbour's husband. Like, why is it assuming that I'm a man or that
Well, it actually says thou shalt not covet thy neighbour's house, wife, manservant, maidservant, ox, ass, nor anything that is thy neighbour's.
Wow. Okay. Is husband in there though?
Well, nor anything that is thy neighbour's.
So yeah, don't covet your neighbour's wife. Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, if there is love there though, and you can't help coveting sometimes, and maybe he's not.
Well, I would agree with
treating
you,
his wife that.
If she's a tasty bit of stuff.
Well, exactly. If she's a tasty bit of stuff, and he's not paying attention to her that much, he's not treating her that well, and you're single. It doesn't say that you've got a wife.
Beating her about.
Well, exactly.
He's emotionally manipulating her and bullying her.
Well, definitely. Well, I would call the police straight away in that case. I wouldn't. I wouldn't even think about asking her out for at least 3 months until she's healed from the trauma.
And yet she's there being beaten black and blue and thinking, oh, if only there was a sensitive and intelligent and mathematically gifted stand-up comedian nearby with a large supply of marker pens.
Yeah, well, like I said, if she is being beaten black and blue, I'm not going in. Not because not out of shame.
She might,
obviously,
in her lonely moments, log onto Facebook and see your videos there. Eric Rushton. She might click the like on your fan page.
Hopefully, someone's got to start liking them.
Follow your Twitter feed.
Yeah.
I think, if only he lived nearby, not being aware that you lived next door. But oh dear, God has said, don't covet her.
Well, yeah, neighbour. We don't even talk to our neighbours anymore. My relationship with my neighbours is just their Wi-Fi names.
Well, thou shalt not covet thy neighbour's Wi-Fi.
We got a neighbours with a Wi-Fi name called We Cook a Lot of Curry. We wanted to change our Wi-Fi to We F*** a Lot of Bitches, but we decided against it.
Why?
Don't know. It would have been funny though.
I think it would have been funny.
Because they would have known it was a direct response to them, and then we would have had to see them in the hallway. You know what else I like? I like Tell My Wife I Love Her. I've seen that a few times. Tell My Wife I Love Her. Like wife, I love her, but Wi-Fi. It's a good pun. People are funny.
I feel like you're stalling for time. What's the next commandment?
I've got steal, murder, cover the neighbour's wife. I thought this would be easy. You're not allowed another god. I think that's one, isn't it?
Yes, indeed.
That's a bit kind of needy. Like, at least let me have the Buddha. I don't know if the Buddha counts as a god. Old Siddhartha Gautama or whatever his name is.
The first commandment is, I am the Lord thy God. Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
Oh, so laying it out, that's the first one. Okay. I guess if you are God, you would be annoyed at imposters, I suppose, if he knows there isn't actually another god. So I can get that.
Yeah, but imagine if you said to your fans, I am the only comedian you're allowed to like. There shall be no other stand-up comedians before me.
In this case, though, that would be like... The analogy would be if I was the only comedian. Like, he said he must know he's the only god if he is God. He don't want anyone using knockoff branding, basically. How many other gods are there, really?
Well, none. But it used to be a fun game of mine that I used to play, actually, where I would invent gods, and then I would dress up, I'd put on a beard and a hat or whatever, and go round to various tribes and try to persuade them to worship me and believe in me and follow some ridiculous made-up religion. I invented loads of different gods. I had lots of fun with the ancient Egyptians. I'd say, oh, there's this fellow and he's got a bird head, and then there's this chap and he's half lion, and they were very gullible, the Egyptians, and they would paint them and draw them and worship them. Terrific fun.
What's God's relationship like with Zeus? Do they get on?
Well, Zeus is another one I made up. I made them all up. There is only one God.
So that's why I can get behind him a little bit on that one, because he's like, stop going on about Zeus. Like, I'm the man.
I know, but it's so funny, though. It's so funny when you persuade people to worship a lion or whatever, you know.
Lying. Lying. Are you allowed to lie? Is that one? Thou shalt not lie?
Lying. Oh, we're back to the Ten Commandments. No, that isn't one, no.
You think that'd be up there?
The closest he gets to don't lie is very specifically the 9th commandment is, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbour.
What does that mean?
Well, it means don't talk shit about your neighbour.
But can you talk shit about next door but one?
It doesn't say you can't. Literally just says, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbour.
He's very into neighbours getting on, isn't he?
It's true. You've got 5 commandments now, Eric, so you're halfway.
Oh, that's all right. How shall I... Right, what have I got? Murder, lie... No, well, murder, don't chat shit about your neighbour. Don't have sex with your neighbour's wife or ox. Don't like another god. What have I missed?
Thou shalt not steal.
Thou shalt not steal.
Well, technically, you kind of accidentally covered 2 in your little summary there, because the 10th commandment is thou shalt not covet thy neighbour's wife. The 7th commandment is thou shalt not commit adultery.
Right, okay. That seems a bit...
with anybody at all.
Yeah, okay, so already he's not really efficient, is he? Because I suppose coveting's different from adultery, but like, just say that and then you can say, just write 9 rules. I think he just wanted a nice round number, you know, he wanted to get to 10.
I think you might be right there.
Because I'm flagging, and we've covered all the main things you need to be a good person. Don't kill anyone or steal. Is there something about marriage or something? Now,
no.
Like not being married, not being shagging before marriage or something?
No, just thou shalt not commit adultery and don't covet thy neighbour's wife.
Is there anything about, like, food?
Nope.
Nothing about food?
Nope.
So you can eat whatever you want, can't you? He doesn't mind us eating animals and that, does he?
No, he put the animals there specifically for you to eat.
Why didn't he just put loads of food there for us?
Well, he did. It's just walking about.
Yeah, but then they've got, like... I mean, I'm not a vegetarian, but, like, pork grown out of trees, so there's, like, no animals that are getting hurt from it. Do you know what I mean? Just like a little sausage that comes out of a plant or something. Nice bit of bacon. I mean,
perhaps we shouldn't get sidetracked into this, but he did put fruit and food that grew all over the garden in place and then said, don't eat the bloody apples.
Yes. See, to be fair to him, he tried just having one rule. He said, I'll be really minimalist with it, I'll have one rule. And then that got f***ed. He's like, right, I'm writing 10 now. Has he kept that up there? I'd keep that up on my 10th commandment, 10 commandments. Don't eat those apples.
Well, it's too late now. Once you've done it, that was it. Original sin for the rest of you forever.
Yeah. What else? 5 more. This is crazy. Can you give me a clue?
Well, it's a bit of a cheat. The second one expands upon the first one. The first one is, I am the Lord thy God, thou shalt have no other gods before me. The second one is, thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the 3rd and 4th generation of them that hate me.
Okay.
So he's basically saying, don't worship statues.
Yeah, well, he could have... He's very verbose. I thought you were a bit verbose, but he needs to calm down a bit.
Well, it's needlessly flabby, that one.
Yeah, just pare it down. I guess back in the day, like now authors, writing's got a bit better because there's so much competition, but then he was kind of putting together the first book. Do you know what I mean? There hadn't been books before, so he could kind of be a bit wordy. No one would be like, this is a long read.
You say that. Like, no, but what you've got to remember is the 10 Commandments were carved onto stone tablets.
Fucking hell.
So it was really in his interest to be brief.
Yeah.
Moses Moses
Did
went
Moses have
up.
to do it for him? Or did God do it?
Well, what had happened was Moses had led the Israelites out of Egypt, and the sea had been parted.
Right.
And then when the Egyptians pursued after them, God had closed the sea upon the Egyptians and killed them.
Yeah.
And then they'd had a bit of a stroll in the desert, and ultimately they came upon Mount Sinai, and Moses ascended the mountain, but God told him, "Don't let anybody else come up the mountain, just you." And he went up on his own, and he spoke to God, and God gave him the commandments, and they were carved into stone tablets, and he carried them down to tell to the
This is
people.
like just what I hate about the Bible and that. It's just like loads of little quests and stuff that people have to go on. It's like Zelda or something. Do you remember the Legend of Zelda? It's basically the Bible. Seas parting and everything. Calm down. Hell. So we've got 4 more to go now.
You've got 3 more to go.
Oh, 3 more. Only 3 more. Okay. Has he said anything to sort of defend his son?
Well, this is from the Old Testament.
Don't chat shit. Oh,
So
yeah,
Jesus
that's
hadn't
true,
been
yeah.
born yet.
You're gonna have to give me another clue because I would have been told these 10. That's why it's annoying. They must simplify them in school because I'm sure we went through the 10th commandments, but that second one was mental. There's no way they were saying that to like 5-year-olds.
The third one is, "Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord in vain."
Okay, yeah, I do know that one. That's just mean you can't be like, oh, Jesus.
The fourth one is, "Don't work on a Sunday."
Right, problem there. What if I want to go out and get milk? Someone's got to be in that shop to serve it. I'm just going to not have a brew all day.
It says, "Remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. Thou shalt not do any work, thou nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy maidservant, manservant, nor thy cattle, nor any stranger that is within thy gates."
What about vicars and priests and shit? That is work for them. That's the day they work. What are they going to do?
Very, very good point.
Their whole job is contradictory to his rules.
Utter nonsense.
That's why they start flouting other rules, and we get all these, horrible things that priests do in that. Because they're like, well, broken one rule, I'm working on a Sunday, I might as well abuse someone now. Do you know what I mean?
It's a classic slippery slope.
It is, yeah.
Right, you're not going to get the last one, are you?
Can you give me the ballpark? Give me an area before you tell me exactly what it is, and I want that satisfaction of guessing it, or do you think it's just impossible for me to guess?
I think it's unlikely that you're going to get this one.
Can you give me any kind of clue before we go straight into it?
It pertains to your family.
Oh, don't betray your family or something. Don't lie to your family. Don't sell your family off to your neighbours. Pertains. Go on, I'm not going to get it.
Honour thy father and mother.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that feels like I have heard that one actually.
So basically, the 10 commandments are: I'm God. Don't worship idols. Don't take my name in vain. Don't work on a Sunday. Be polite to your mum and dad. Don't murder. Don't commit adultery. Don't steal. And don't be jealous of your neighbour.
It's a bit intense, isn't it? I don't think that would go down well as a self-help book these days.
I think it's a terrible, terrible list of commandments. I mean, tell me, Eric, if you were supposed to be devising, you're a fan of lists, if you were going with your whiteboard up Mount Sinai, what kind of commandments would
Where's
you
Mount
give?
Sinai? I don't want to have to go up Mount Sinai. I'm sick of Mount Sinai.
Well, all right, then, up the Wrekin, or the Malverns, somewhere closer to home.
Can I just do it here? Yeah, and just... Oh, can I tell you another story about my whiteboard?
Go ahead.
All right, sorry. I've actually got 2 whiteboards now. So I bought this big whiteboard from Amazon, a double-sided one. It's on a stand. You kind of wheel it about. There's a big one as well. I got it, had the smallest dent on one of the sides. I emailed the company directly who manufactured it, furious email. I was like, this is unacceptable. Can you send me a replacement? And they sent me another one, and now I've got 2 whiteboards. Absolutely taking the piss out of them.
Well, as sins go, that's quite a small one, but well done. I am proud of you. Maybe we can build up from there.
Yeah, right. So I've got 2 whiteboards to write my rules on.
And some stolen pens.
And some stolen pens.
So I feel like you're going in the right direction.
Okay, I think I would keep don't murder.
Okay, don't murder.
I'd say don't steal anything over £10 worth of value. Do you know what I mean? If you're nicking pens, if you're nicking the odd chocolate bar or something, that's fine. I don't mind a bit of that. We can maybe negotiate on the exact cut-off point. Maybe don't steal anything above £5, but certainly I don't want to take the fun out of stealing completely. I would just forget about the neighbour's wives one. If love's complicated and he's given us these emotions and people have sex with each other and sometimes it hurts people and stuff, and just let him get on with it, really.
Well, what about if your neighbour invited you round? What about if he's proudly showing her off? What if she's a hot wife? What if you're at a swingers club?
Yeah, exactly. I think it's just fine. Let's forget about that. We need to simplify these lists, like make them realistic.
Have you ever been to a swingers club, Eric?
No, but I'd be willing to try. I've not really been...
Stick your keys in the bowl. Have you got any keys? You haven't got a car, have you?
No, but I have house keys.
Yeah, that'll do.
What yeah. So don't get... I think copyright law is important.
Well, thou shalt not infringe copyright.
Artists need paying. We need to not stream stuff. We need to... Back in the day, you could understand it when people were downloading music because it's kind of hard to get hold of it, and buying CDs was expensive. Quick subscriptions to Spotify, you got it all. Same with films, it'll be on Amazon somewhere, it'll be on Netflix. So respect... I'm surprised you didn't go with that, actually. In the Ten Commandments, respect copyright law. What else would I have? I feel like I've almost covered all bases. Don't murder. Don't steal over £10, and don't steal intellectual property.
Are those your commandments?
Those are my main ones, yeah. What would your rules be? What would your commandments be?
What would my commandments be? Well, I'm not a big fan of rules, but if I absolutely had to set up the Devil's Decalogue, my first commandment would be finders, keepers, losers, weepers.
Yeah, okay, I can see that.
My second commandment would be, thou shalt learn to take a joke and not be such a snowflake.
Yeah.
Thou shalt party and have fun. Thou shalt not fret and worry about everything. Thou shalt chill out. Thou shalt not be pushed around by pious, self-aggrandizing do-gooders.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I don't really like the do-gooders. Virtue signalling. There's a lot of virtue signalling on social media. I imagine that there's a lot of that in heaven as well.
Oh, God. Well, they're terrible for it.
The self-righteous Facebook posts in heaven must be outrageous.
Awful.
Yeah.
Absolutely awful. Well, that's why I do actually spend quite a lot of time with my team on the social media networks, just counteracting some of that social justice warrior stuff by arguing against people in bad faith.
Yeah.
I like to do that. I like to troll people.
That's fun. But even then, I feel like everyone's wasting their time there. Why is the person posting the thing in the first place? To make themselves look really good, and then the person commenting is just trying to make them feel bad, and then they're wasting their own time, and then everyone...
It's not a waste of time. Trolling people on Twitter is a tremendous activity. It's lots of fun, and it's something that I put a lot of resources into. So anyway, where was I with my commandments? Thou shalt know that any hole's a goal.
Right.
And he who scores the most goals shall surely win.
I felt that pressure, actually, sort of growing up, that, society putting that value on you based on how good a shagger you are, how many people you're having sex with. You're a bit of a player if you've had sex loads. And you just said that, haven't you? You just said you can't remember how you worded it. But
I said, thou shalt know that any hole's a goal.
But then you said something after that was like, and it makes
he who scores the most goals shall surely win.
Yeah, exactly. Just, what if you've scored one goal, but it was a really good one?
Well, then you should contemplate that you should get out there and go on a bit of a rampage. Stick that up on your whiteboard. Turn it into a tally.
Yeah, I feel like I'd have a very blank whiteboard.
Well, that's it. You need to fill that whiteboard. You need to fill it with conquests. Fill it right up. Fill it right up. Fill it really good up right.
Are you lonely?
What? No, I'm not lonely. No, I've got lots of company down here. What are you talking about? What do you mean? Am I lonely? Of course not. Why are you asking that?
There seems like there's a lot of bravado and pretending you're having a good time.
I'm not pretending.
Partying all night and all the
absolutely. Party, take drugs, hedonism.
Taking drugs, yeah, and girls, and it being like snobs and everything, and it's just
it is like snobs.
Well, sometimes snobs gets a bit boring.
What? Snobs never gets boring. You've never even been to Snobs. I go every week. I'm always there.
I've been to places that
I'm always at Big Wednesday.
Just does the novelty not wear off?
What, a Big Wednesday? Absolutely not. They play some banging tunes.
No, of your life. It's not really a novelty anymore. People like some of these things because they are novelty, but for you, it's just your life.
There's always wonder to be found. There's always joy and naughtiness. There's always a thrill.
I honestly think that if we could peel back a little bit, under that exterior that you show us, and maybe you make yourself more vulnerable. Maybe having something like rules and a framework for your existence would benefit you.
I can't see how rules would benefit me living my life. according to stipulations.
Yeah, but maybe we need that, you know.
Well, I definitely don't.
We need a balance.
I think what's going on here, Eric, is you don't allow yourself to have fun, and you persuade yourself that, the fun would wear out, and I wouldn't enjoy it anymore, and what about its own intrinsic meaning? You're constantly holding yourself back, and what I'm telling you, as somebody who has lived for millions of years, it is possible to live in a constant state of fun and excitement if you just let go and go for it.
But if you're never sad, how is anything ever fun?
Well, because fun things
Isn't fun relative?
No, fun things are always fun. Let me give you an example of some of the sheer fun that I have had over the years that I have existed. Have you ever heard of the Wicked Bible?
No, is that like a like WOKD promotion or something?
No, it's something that I'm very, very proud of. Well, I mean, this comes back to what I was saying earlier about trolling people and winding them up and stuff.
Yeah.
Basically, in the 1630s, there was a couple of chaps in London called Robert Barker and Martin Lucas, and they were printing the latest copy of the King James Bible, right?
Yeah.
And when they were typesetting it, when they got to the Ten Commandments, and they were going to put the letters in so that it said, "Thou shalt not commit adultery," I distracted one of them so that they missed out the word "not," and they printed the Bible with the commandment, "Thou shalt commit adultery." I mean, so their copy of the Bible said, "Thou shalt commit adultery." Thou shalt commit adultery, as if God was saying, "Thou shalt commit adultery," as if he was telling them to. And they were selling these Bibles that said this.
I mean, it's not the best prank I've ever heard in my life, but
no, it was a brilliant joke. What are you talking about?
Because people would have just obviously known that was an error.
Well, no, the king was furious. The Archbishop of Canterbury was very affronted.
What? Because he thought that's what God meant. Thou shalt.
Yes, because there was now a copy of the Bible that said thou shalt commit adultery. Not instead of it should be thou shalt not commit adultery.
I get it.
But this one said thou shalt commit adultery.
I guess comedy is subjective, isn't it?
Like as if that is what you should do.
This is what I'm talking about, though. What's this fucking bullshit you're doing?
That was a brilliant joke, right? That I did in the 1630s.
You're just messing up someone else's work. You know what I mean?
Well, it's better than any of your stuff, and it caused lots of laughter. People found it hilarious.
I think your whole being is very focused on winding other people up and reactions you can get from people. Where you're not. I feel like you've got no inner life, no inner journey. Do you know what I mean? I'm not even trying to sound pretentious or like overly spiritual, but I just feel like you've not got a direction. Like, pulling pranks like that's you're just wasting time.
How dare you say I'm wasting time, Eric Rushton? I'm not wasting time. Believe me, I've lived for millions of years, and I tell you, let me tell you, that was a funny joke. That was a really, really funny joke, and I was very proud of it. And lots of people were very cross, and I'm not lonely, and it's lots of fun, and I've got lots of. I'm a very complex and multifaceted individual. Okay, I've got lots going on inside me. I'm not empty and meaningless at all. You wouldn't understand.
Do you ever cry?
No. What have I got to cry about?
We know each other a bit now. Like
I'm the king of hell, Eric. I'm very successful.
I think it sucks what happened to you with God being a dickhead all them years ago, and I guess you were mates and stuff. And I've had mates I don't talk to anymore. That still hurts me, I see them posting on social media, and I wish we was.
I don't want to go back to heaven. I left of my own accord, and I'm much happier down here, and I don't want to be his stupid friend.
You're very much taking the low road, though, haven't you?
I'm successful. I'm very sexy. I've had sex with lots of girls.
It doesn't do anything, though, does it? Really?
And men.
Okay, that's fine.
And sheep.
All right, well, that's not fine.
Goats, chickens,
okay. Yeah.
a few lizards,
all right,
and a couple of sofas.
Okay.
And a shoe.
I guess the inanimate objects aren't so bad in that list. Bit weird, but at least they're not harming anyone. But do you feel like this pain that you want to inflict on others is maybe in direct proportion to the pain you feel inside, and that maybe you actually just opened up a bit and release some of that pain in more productive, more healthy ways? And are you not tired of the act?
What act. This isn't an act. This is really me. I'm the party animal. I'm the original party animal. I'm Mr. Fun. I'm Mr. Naughty. The rules don't apply to me. I can do what I want, and I won't be pushed around by God. How can I possibly be tired of that?
It's just on Earth, I can't speak much for different realms and stuff like that. On Earth, when we see people that are having lots of sex and drinking lots and partying lots, it's more often than not an indication that there's something wrong internally for them, that there's some, maybe you do things like that to distract yourself, really. They're not moments of connection, sort of binge drinking and binge sex, if you like.
It's not binge drinking. I just like a drink.
Yeah.
It's not binge, okay? I just get thirsty. Talking of which, would you like one?
Yeah, I'll have one, but only because you're drinking it. Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you, that's very nice.
There you go. Be warned, it's very, very alcoholic.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Look,
Yeah.
I just think that if you come down and join me in hell when your time is over, I think we could be friends, we can get on, and you'll have fun. And you'll have more fun with me.
We're friends now. Well, I'm saying these things. I'm not saying these things to antagonize you. I'm saying these things because I'm your friend, and I want, you're making me a bit emotional now. I want the best for you. It's not too late for you, especially for an eternal being. It's never too late. So, well, maybe we can agree on that being the rule. It's never too late.
It's never too late. Right, you can write that on your whiteboard and just stick it down there underneath Shag More Birds and stick a firework through a letterbox. That's your to-do list for this week. So let's drink to that. Cheers.
Right.
Cheers, Eric. Cheers.
Thank you very much.
You've been listening to Tea with the Devil, a podcast with Eric Rushton as a poor lost soul, and Richard Dadd as his satanic majesty himself. The music is Nocturnal Shadows by Anna Maria Olson. Join us again next time.